Hi guys, I'm Stu. No, I don't like that.
Like rock.
I gotta be right here anyway, right? Line. Forgot where I wanted to go here. No. I lifted my eyebrow too high. Hi guys, I'm Stu, and welcome to the owner's manual for the STIHL KM56. I'm basically gonna tell you everything I tell our customers that's buying a machine just like this. Excellent! This is a STIHL product. STIHL is a German company, and this is made in Virginia. If it's your first STIHL product, congratulations, your life's about to get easier. It's going to be something that lasts you a long time. I would say on average we see this last about 12 years, but it can go much longer than that. In just this unit alone will come with a manual, a scrunch, a little orange screwdriver for adjusting your idle, and this pin tool that goes in a lot of the different attachments that are available. Currently there's 18 different attachments that this will couple up to. You loosen this connection here, you drop the attachment in, and then you just snug this Tommy screw up. So this little engine is 2-cycle, and that means that it doesn't have oil separate in the crankcase of this engine. The oil is mixed in with your gas, and there's 2 ways to do that. This is a very popular way. This is a 6-pack of synthetic oil from STIHL. And on the bottom of this 6-pack it says makes 1 gallon. So you just take one of these bottles, dump it into 1 gallon of gas, and that 1 gallon can becomes your dedicated can for filling your KM56. Another way, this is more expensive, but it's better for the engine and it's easier. This is a product from STIHL called MotoMix, and this is a synthetic fuel with synthetic oil. It's very high octane and it has a very long shelf life. Safely, this could sit in an engine for 2 years and the engine will still crank right up. If you're buying this at a dealership, they're going to go over all this with you. We have videos on how to mix your fuel. We have an entire video of how to mix gas, so if you're uncertain on how to mix your gas, please watch it because it is important that you have the right oil, the right fuel, and a proper 50-to-1 mixture. When it comes to cranking it, this is an easy start. Fill up the tank, prime the bulb. The deal with priming on a STIHL is that you cannot over-prime. You cannot flood a STIHL by priming it. You're just purging all the air out of the lines and then you're cycling fuel back into the tank. So it really takes 5 or 6 primes for it to be properly primed. This is not an on-off switch, it's just an off switch. So when you turn the unit off, you hold this down. When you let go, it bounces right back to on. And this is your choke. And you see how it has a little springy bounce to it? So you have to press it in and then roll it up, and then this position here would be choke. And in 2 pulls, this engine is going to crank. And unlike other engines that are 2-cycle and have a choke, that would give you a chug sound and then not continue to run, and then the next step would be to take it off choke and continue pulling it. This machine's not like that. In 2 pulls it's going to crank and run in choke, but it's not going to be running quite right. It's going to be running a little bit rich. So all that you need to do is you just grab the handle and you squeeze the trigger and it's going to pop it off a choke there. A lot of people ask me, what is this? This is just a safety lockout. See, I can't pull the trigger unless my hand is here like I would naturally run it. So once this is held down, then the trigger can pull. That just keeps it from bumping something and revving up. This is a shoulder strap. There are many attachments that this is helpful. Go over your head. Obviously you would never run this without an attachment, so it's wildly out of balance the way it is right now. This handle here is a safety so that with certain attachments, if they wanted to kind of race up towards your feet, it would touch your leg, so it's actually not a handle, it's just attached to your handle. Actually, when you get a STIHL product, it's always like this. It's out of the box, and it is a rule of STIHL that everything has to be cranked before it goes home. And that is because we serve as your last line of quality control, make sure the product runs right. We get a little more time to show you how to operate it properly. And yeah, we just give it a final test. So we're going to go outside and crank this real fast. So this is a no-spill can. It works great. I always hold it over my head to show you that it doesn't leak. You just hit the button and fill the tank up like that. Now, if you remember, I was saying this takes 2 pulls to crank. With one exception, when it's brand new and everything is dry, it takes about 6 pulls. Get it nice and primed, and then don't have to touch anything here. You're already on. When you choke it, it's pulling the throttle in without you seeing it. And then it's easy start, so you don't have to yank on it, just kind of nice and steady. 3, 4, 5, should happen right here. Ah, there you go. So we just check it, make sure it's idling good. You know, it's just sitting there, it's not gonna stall out. And then to turn it off, you press this button, the motor dies. And what's very common is while you're using this tool, you're gonna have to start and stop it many times. Maybe as you change attachments or you change line or edger blades. And when you go to restart it, once it's warm like it is now, you don't have to do anything. You just one tiny little 2-finger pop, just like that. And this is what it looks like coupling attachments. So a very common setup would be a string trimmer and an edger. Your attachments have a little rubber dust cover here. It's not necessary, but most dealers have a bucket of these somewhere, so if you run out of them, you want some, just stop in and pick some up. What's going on inside of here is there's a square hole, and there's 2 little metal wires they call bows that help direct this square shaft into that square hole. So in most cases it drops right in and it goes right to that red line. However, in some cases it will stop about there, you know, a good inch away from that red line. Is because the square shaft didn't go into the square hole. It's no big deal, you just lift up on the attachment, you drop it one more time, and it pretty much always, that bow twists that shaft and drops it into that hole. And then you tighten it up here. And then when this is tight, this is really as good as a dedicated unit. There's no twisting, there's nothing that ever comes loose here. In time, this can be a point of wear, but if you're taking good care of it, it's gonna hold up a long time, and your dealer will help you get it right. As far as servicing goes, we would recommend that you service this once a year, and it's pretty easy. Now, these are very little maintenance, and unlike some of the other tools you may be used to where your fuel lines crack and leak, the steel never leaks. It's made out of a Viton rubber. It's like a green rubber. At our shop, we stock the pre-bent fuel line that goes in this engine, and we honestly never sell it. It never fails. It would be wise to service this once a year, and it would be best to take it to your dealership because they're truly going to know everything to look for. But if you wanted to pick up parts at your dealership and get this done, this is how easy it is to do a very basic service. You know, the cool thing about a steel product is that it always comes with a dealership. You know, a dealership's going to record your model and serial. They're going to register this for you. And then when you come back in and you need service parts because you want to do the service yourself, they're going to have a file of what unit you have. So, you know, I wanted to show you these service parts just so you get an idea of what goes into this engine. You don't really need to know these numbers because it's different than every other product. You just walk in the dealership, they know your name, they hand you your parts. So this is the spark plug. It's an NGK, it's a CMR 6H. This is the fuel filter, and this is the air filter. You have an air filter that's under this black cover. It comes with this tool here that allows you to access your air filter. You loosen that up, and you can see that it's right here. And then you just take that out. You know, a lot of times this looks okay, but it's really clogged with debris and it needs to be replaced. It's not expensive either, so it's always recommended to replace it. Don't try to clean it or anything like that. Then your spark plug is actually located underneath this cap here. And then a boot over the plug. And it is hard to pull that boot off. A pair of pliers helps a lot. But you see, I got it off. This is a NGK CMR 6H, and this tool strikes again. It fits in there, and loosen the plug and then screw a new one in with your fingers and then tighten it, just snug it up with this tool. And lastly, probably the thing that gets overlooked the most is that you have a fuel filter down in the tank called a pickup body. And it's on a rubber tube, and it sits down in the fuel, and it sucks the fuel up and sends it to the carburetor. Now our mechanics have a little tool like this, has a hook on the end, and they'll use this to fish out the pickup body. And then while they're holding the filter out of the tank, so you just pluck this one off, put a new one on, drop it back down in the tank. On a basic level, that's really all you have to do to service this. Pretty simple, pretty inexpensive too. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. We have a lot of new cool videos always coming out. This was the KM56. Enjoy your tool. Have a good day.